Good day, everyone. I am Jumel El Maturan, introducing our topic for today: global issues that concern schools and society. In today's interconnected world, global issues affect everyone regardless of location. Problems such as environmental damage, social conflict, and inequality influence economies, health, and daily life. Understanding these issues helps students become informed citizens who can contribute to positive global change. So, before we begin our lesson, let me share what we aim to achieve today. By the end of this discussion, you will be able to understand and discuss major global issues, appreciate the importance of being aware and evolve in addressing these issues, and think of a simple actions that you can do in your school or community that help make positive change. So, the first global issue is the climate change. Climate change is a long term shift in weather patterns and global temperatures, mainly caused by humans' activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. It leads to rising sea levels, strong storms, droughts, and heat waves. These changes affect food production, water availability, and human health, while threatening ecosystems and biodiversity. Countries and communities are adopting solutions like renewable energy, deforestation, and policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The next one is the pollution. So, pollution occurs when harmful substances contaminate air, water, or soil. Air pollution from vehicles and factories causes respiratory problems, while water pollution from chemicals and plastics harm both humans and wildlife. Soil pollution reduces crop productivity. So, poor environmental management means over 1 billion people lack clean drinking water. This increasing the risk of disease. Solution includes recycling, stricter regulations, waste reduction, and sustainable practices. The next global issue would be the violence. Violence includes physical harm, abuse, conflict, and war. It affects individuals, families, and communities, creating fear and instability. Violence can be caused by poverty, inequality, discrimination, or political disputes. Its consequences include loss of life, displacement of people, and interruption of educational and development. Preventing violence requires legal systems, community programs, conflict resolutions, and international cooperations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lara Kaina D. Murada, and I will also be one of your discussants for today. So let's proceed to the fourth global issue, which is security and well being. As we all know, our world is facing a lot of challenges when it comes to safety and people's well being. That's why the United Nations, or the UN, serves as a great example of what should be done to solve these issues. The UN works together with different regional organizations and experts in security to make sure that people all over the world are protected and live better lives. Their main goal is to prevent global problems like conflicts, terrorism, and poverty by promoting peace, cooperation, and development among nations. In short, the UN helps maintain security and improve the well being of people everywhere. So the next global issue we have is lack of education. So over 72 million children worldwide are not enrolled in school due to inequality, marginalization, and poverty. Education should be a right for every child, but many are still left behind due to poverty, discrimination, and lack of access to schools. Humanium, a non-government organization, highlights that millions of children cannot attend school, especially in poor and marginalized communities. To help solve this problem, several organizations are taking action. Instead of just giving aid, they're creating programs that train teachers, build classrooms, and provide students with learning materials. These efforts aim to make sure education more accessible and inclusive, especially for children in poor and remote areas. Functional literacy, as defined by the National Statistics Authority, is the level of literacy, which includes not only reading and writing, but also numeracy skills that would help people cope with the daily demands of life. In 2013, the Philippines achieved a 90.3% functional literacy rate among people aged 10 to 64, according to the FLEMS survey. This means that 9 out of every 10 Filipinos in that age group have the ability not just to read and write, but also to do basic math skills needed to manage daily life. So the next global issue is unemployment. Unemployment often happens because many young people don't have the proper education or job skills needed by employers. Without these, they struggle to find stable jobs, which affects their ability to support themselves and their families. As a result, they may experience poverty and lack of access to essential needs like food, clothing, and transportation. According to Trading Economics in 2019, the unemployment rate in the Philippines slightly decreased to 5.2% in March quarter of 2019 from 5.3 a year earlier. This indicates a small improvement in employment opportunities. However, from 1994 to 2019, the country's unemployment rate averaged 8.34%, showing that unemployment has remained a long-term concern. The highest recorded rate was 13.9% in 2000, while the lowest rate was 4.7% in 2016. According to Trading Economics, the unemployment rate in the Philippines as of August 2025 was 3.9%, a decrease from 5.3% in July 2025. These figures suggest that although progress has been made, many Filipinos still face challenges in securing stable jobs, emphasizing the need for continuous economic and skills development efforts. To address the growing issue of unemployment among young people, the government should implement nationwide skills training and employment programs such as TESDA's vocational courses, job fairs, on-the-job training, or OGT partnerships with private companies, entrepreneurship workshops, and digital skills programs. These programs will equip the youth with practical and job-ready skills that match industry demands, helping them secure stable jobs and improve their quality of life. In conclusion, addressing global issues such as security, education, and unemployment is essential for creating a safer and more equitable world. The United Nations plays a key role in promoting peace and protecting people's well-being, while various organizations work to ensure that every child has access to quality education. At the same time, tackling unemployment through skills training and job opportunities is vital for improving people's livelihoods. Together, these efforts contribute to building a more secure, educated, and prosperous society for all.
Now, let's talk about government corruption. So, corruption happens when people in power misuse the position for personal gain. This includes bribery, graft, embezzlement, and even nepotism. So, in the Philippines, corruption has been one of our biggest problems for decades. And according to Transparency International's 2013 Corruption Index, our country ranked 94th out of 177 nations, which clearly shows how widespread this issue is. And corruption takes away money meant for schools, hospitals, roads, and other essential services. Because of this, progress becomes slower, poverty continues, and only a few people, usually those with money or connections, can benefit. What's worse is that how corruption can destroy people's trust in the government. When leaders get away with wrongdoing, people lose faith in justice, and this can lead to more crime, instability, and even violence. Right now, the problem is not only the corrupt politicians themselves, but also the voters who don't choose wisely. The normalization of vote buying during elections, sadly, corruption has become something many people can tolerate. This makes corruption even more painful because the Philippines is a country rich in natural resources, talent, and potential. But corruption blocks this potential. At the end of the day, corrupt leaders do not just steal money, but they also steal the dignity, effort, and future of every Filipino. Next is the malnourishment and hunger. So around 795 million people worldwide still do not have enough food to eat, even though the world actually produces enough food for everyone. So the problem is unequal access caused by poverty and poor food distribution. So malnutrition is not only about being hungry, but also involves lacking vitamins and minerals, or even becoming overweight due to unhealthy diets. According to the World Health Organization, malnutrition can lead to stunted growth in children and chronic diseases in adults. In the Philippines, many families, especially in rural areas, struggle with hunger, and some children go to school without eating breakfast or lunch, and many families only eat food that fills the stomach but has almost no nutrients. And to address this issue, we need to reduce poverty and teach community skills such as gardening, proper meal planning, and budgeting. When people have education and livelihood opportunities, they can better support their families and maintain proper nutrition. Next one is the substance abuse. So substance abuse refers to the harmful use of drugs, alcohols, or other substances that negatively affects a person's body, mind, and relationships. So according to the World Health Organization, it is a serious public health issue. So the United Nations reported that by the early 20s, around 185 million people aged 15 and above were using drugs. This issue affects everyone, and whether rich or poor, but the marginalized are more vulnerable. But in the Philippines, drug abuse continues to break families apart, cause job loss, and lead to crime. So it is important to remember that addiction is not simply about making bad choices, but many people's struggles with addictions came from broken environments, lack support, or face mental and emotional challenges. That's why rehabilitation, counseling, and community support are necessary, not just punishment. So prevention through education and awareness is also very important, especially for the youth. And lastly, we have terrorism. So terrorism involves using violence or threats to achieve political or religious goals. So these attacks cause fear, destroy communities, and take away people's sense of safety. All over the world, innocent lives are taken because of terrorism. Fighting terrorism requires more than force. Yes, countries must strengthen security and enforce laws, but solutions must also focus on the root causes such as poverty, lack of education, and discrimination. When people feel hopeless or oppressed, they become more vulnerable to joining extremist groups. So in the Philippines, terrorism has especially affected parts of Mindanao. The government, military, and peace organization continue to work together to maintain order, promote peace, and provide better opportunities so that communities won't be drawn into extremist activities. So to conclude, corruption, hunger, substance abuse, and terrorism are major issues that continues to affect our society. And if we look, corruption, hunger, substance abuse, and terrorism are the To conclude my part, corruption, hunger, substance abuse, and terrorism are major issues that continue to affect our society. And if you look closely, these problems are connected. Corruption leads to poverty, poverty leads to hunger, and this condition can push people toward drugs use or even violence. So solving these issues requires honest leadership, better education, more job opportunities, and compassion for others. So even as students, we can contribute by being informed, practicing integrity, and promoting fairness and peace in our communities. And that's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.